Hey, thank you so much for watching, listening. Super stoked to have you here. And how about a joke? Yesterday, I went to the zoo and I saw a baguette in a cage. And I asked the zookeeper, I was like, what is with that? And he told me it was inbred captivity. A baguette, right? I know, you're like, that is so stupid. Ting, I get it. But I get to introduce to you today, this is a really fun new friend, Don Colbert, Dr. Don. So thank you for hanging out.
Sure, it's great.
You're like famous.
No, I don't call myself famous. I've been around for quite a while.
No, that's cool. So just a little bit, where were you born and raised?
Born in Tupelo, Mississippi, raised in Tupelo. And then I was an exchange student my senior year, went to Mexico and lived a year. And then I came back to the University of Mississippi and enrolled, and that was the party school of the country at that time. But I was placed with a roommate who was an on-fire Christian. And this on-fire Christian helped me, accept the Lord and showed me the way to the Lord. And then that summer, my parents had moved from Tupelo to a little town called Forest, Mississippi, which is a teeny little town, but they were having a great revival in this little tiny town of Forest and Morton. And all the kids there, the young kids that were teenagers and high school, college kids, were going to Christ for the Nations in Dallas, Texas. And there was a great revival going on. So I got with these kids and I got filled with the Holy Spirit. Wow. And then I went to Christ for the Nations, got out of ORU and went, not ORU, I went there later, got out of University of Mississippi and enrolled at Christ for the Nations for a year where I just studied the Bible. Yep. And then from there, I went to Oral Roberts University. I went there, finished 3 more years undergrad, and then I went to med school at Oral Roberts University. It was one of the 333 that graduated from Oral Roberts University. Wow. And then we prayed, and the Lord shined a light on Orlando to do my residency. And in Orlando, we had just moved there, and I was working out in this little gym, and I had this Jesus T-shirt on. Yeah. And this guy came up to me and says, "Hey, are you a Christian?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Do you have any good churches here?" And he says, "Well, there's one little church that just started. It's only got a few hundred people. The guy's real hard to understand, but he's real anointed." Well, that's when God united me with Benny Hinn. And I went the first night, we're on the back row, and then Benny Hinn, it was about 200 or 300 people at that time. He had a guest speaker, Reinhard Bonnke. Yeah. And then he pointed me out, and he said, "Aren't you that doctor that I read about in Abundant Life magazine, where they did an article on you?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Come up here." Oh, wow. So he set me on stage, and then from that moment on, he joined me with Benny Hinn Ministries, and I've been Benny's doctor for over 35 years. Wow. And traveled all around with him, all over the country and parts of the world. Wow. So that kind of tells you a little about where I've been. Yeah. And I've been practicing medicine for so many years, but then back around 1990, I got sick and I developed a rash over my entire body. And I found out it was psoriasis, but no one in the family had psoriasis. So I found out from that, I went to my dermatologist, who's a good friend of mine. He looked down, he said, "I'm sorry, Don, but you have the heartbreak of psoriasis." And I said, "But no one in my family has it." He said, "Doesn't matter, you've got it." And I take this salve with Aquaphor Aqua and put it over your whole body, everywhere you have it, which my whole body was on fire. Yeesh. So I did that, and I stunk like road tar. And I finally got to a that's it moment where I said, "That's it. I'm done with this stuff. I'm just going to believe God, and I'm going to listen to the Holy Spirit and see." So he led me to study nutrition. He led me to study all the key things with diet and nutrition. I found out my gut was a mess. Yeah. I'd taken lots of antibiotics to treat my own sinus infection so that I could continue working. Yeah. When I healed my gut and cut out certain key foods that were inflaming my gut, like salsa, I love salsa. Yeah. And a word of caution, if your flesh loves something, like ice cream or cake or cookies or salsa. In my case, it was salsa. I had it every day, had a big old cup of it. I'd dip my chicken in it. I thought it was really healthy. And then afterward, I'd drink the whole cup. My wife would look at me and I'd be perspiring like crazy. Yeah. But that was literally inflaming my system because the antibiotics had already caused increased intestinal permeability, and it was an accelerant to a fire. And so I had to literally cut out the salsa, the tomatoes, the peppers, and the gluten or the wheat for a while. And then my body cleared up. And then, of course, I took some probiotics and some fish oils and some natural products that heal the gut, like L-glutamine. And lo and behold, within a few months, psoriasis is gone.
Wow.
But then I found out when I would do certain things, be under certain stresses or something, it would kind of flare up. But eventually he led me to all the answers, and that's why I've been writing these books for so many years. Because the Lord has shown me the keys to most every disease lies in our choices of food. And most Americans are making the wrong choices. They're not listening to the Spirit, they're listening to the flesh. And so that was the same in my case. So I put this together. Now I live more of a fasted life. And I don't let my flesh have what it craves. Now I will, maybe a little at Christmas or my birthday, but that's it. But just a little. I keep it on a short leash because if we allow our flesh to eat what it desires, it'll lead us to disease and death.
Yeah. So, a random question: do you have kids?
Yes.
How many?
I've got 2 sons and 7 grandchildren.
Ooh, fun. Do they all live in Florida?
No, lived in Florida. Now they live in Dallas or Fort Worth, Texas, and Augusta, Georgia.
Nice. And what do you do to relax?
Write books. We go to the beach a lot. I've got beach condos. I ride bikes on the beach or walk on the beach. And I work out on a regular basis 5 days a week and cycle and things like that.
And when you work out, is it a mix of things? You do
Yes,
weights? What all
I
do you do?
I do weights. I do cardio. I do strengthening exercises and core exercises and planks and things like that.
Swim?
I don't swim, but I cycle a lot because it's real joint friendly. Swimming is a good exercise. I just don't like the chlorine in the pools.
How about swimming in the ocean, though?
Yeah, but again, I do some, but I like cycling better.
Yeah.
But I do some swimming.
That's cool. So ride your bike on the beach?
Right, that's fun. I got a beach with big, huge tires.
Yep.
My wife does too. We
Wear
love
a
to go on the
helmet?
beach. Not on the beach. I will in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good because you got to protect your brain.
Absolutely right. And I talk a lot about that in my book on Alzheimer's that I wrote. Because if you don't, any kind of head injury can affect you. But when you fall in the sand, it's usually doesn't hurt. You're not going that fast.
Right.
Because the wind's usually blowing against you, and so you can't go that fast.
Totally good. Do you like to read?
Oh, love to read.
What do you like to read?
Well, I read a lot of books, especially on nutrition. I read a lot of books on, my favorite is just different diseases to find the answers because I still practice 3 days a week and I'm always reading and studying on diseases that I don't know. Just recently, I attended a 4-day intensive seminar on advanced cancer because we don't have all the answers to cancer. So I went to an advanced seminar on treating cancer as far as with nutrition and found some key things out, which I think will help. And it'll be eventually a future book that I'll write. So I'm always looking for answers for diseases. And it's almost always you have to start with the right dietary program. And we find that the things that fuel cancer are sugar and inflammation.
Yeah.
And so it's so strange how almost every disease has almost the same foods and mediators that literally fuel the disease.
Yeah.
Or similar, very similar. And Americans are eating those foods regularly.
What do you think about Ebola?
We don't have a problem with Ebola. It is a bad virus that causes hemorrhagic, hemorrhaging from all areas of the body. That's in Africa, but they do have some meds for that are effective. And again, it's looked like they've squashed most of the epidemics they had or little tiny epidemics they had.
Because that one that popped up, like a couple years ago, 10 years, 12 years ago, in those 3 countries in Equatorial, that was pretty bad.
Yes, but they were able to quarantine and squash it. And they were able to do that now, which you catch it early enough, you can do that. But that's a very bad disease. But unfortunately, more pandemics are expected to come on this earth. That's why we have to be ready and keep our immune system strong. And the way to keep it strong, again, is to feed it the right foods and get it rest and the right amount of exercise and just laughter and keep relaxation. It keeps the immune system strong.
That's totally true. And do you like movies?
I don't watch a lot of movies because most are bad. I'll watch
Yeah.
crazy, funny shows like, Monk on TV.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just funny because most movies, I don't like to put things before my eyes that
Right.
are evil. There's so much evil in the world,
Yeah.
even commercials.
Yep.
I don't watch much of that.
Yeah.
So I watch funny older shows
Yeah.
like that, which are, pretty good.
Yeah. You
I
watch
love to go.
MASH?
I've watched MASH. I like that.
Yeah.
And just funny things like that are good. I love to go to bed and maybe watch a little funny show and then go to bed. I listen to the word before I go to bed. And then that way I have great dreams. I go into a deep sleep and I dream many times about what I've watched on TV, which
Yep.
makes me laugh.
Yep. Did you watch ever Good Doctor?
I haven't watched that, no.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, good.
I think it's
I'll
pretty
watch
good.
Good. Well, I love things that are funny. That's what I love.
Yeah. Yeah. Like to laugh?
Love to laugh.
Yeah. And travel. Where's your favorite place to travel?
Well, again, we like in the U.S., you mean, or where?
Around the world.
Around the world. I love to go to Greece. We're going to Rome in a couple of months and going on a Mediterranean cruise, so it'll be fun. But we love to go to Greece and different areas of Greece. And again, we're looking forward to this cruise. Of course, love to go to the Holy Land. That's one of our favorites. But we've been, to different places. Been to England and France and Paris and, places like that, Africa. I don't care to vacation there, but I got a friend that's got a huge hunting ranch there that I may go eventually, where he has all kind of exotic, animals. But he has actually leopards on that ranch too. He says they come and go, and they'll kill some of his antelopes or some of his forget a type of antelope they have there.
Yeah.
But I'd love to go on a safari. Hadn't been to China.
Yeah. They got great food.
Oh, I bet they do.
They totally do.
And a lot of white rice, though, is not good for you.
No, but if you go in the north part, I mean, it's interesting. China is similar in topography to the U.S.
Okay.
So, in the south part of the U.S., you have more rice.
Right.
Whereas in the north, you're going to have more wheat.
Okay.
And it's the same kind of idea in China.
Right,
So
okay.
if you go up in the north part, but I mean, they do, all kinds of stir fry vegetables.
Right.
If you hit Xi'an, and then you go to Sichuan, Chengdu, Chongqing.
Okay.
They got great food there.
Oh, well, good. Okay.
And lamb. They have lamb
good.
skewers.
Well, see, that's what we love about Greece. When we go to Greece, it's amazing. The food is fresh grown.
Yeah.
It's you get a bottle of olive oil, and we'll sit around the whole table. It'll take us a couple of hours to eat, but that whole bottle of olive oil will be finished by the time we're through with our meal. We put it on everything. So I use tons of olive oil, and that's one of the best things for our brains and our blood vessels.
And then the lemons too, right?
Oh, yeah, lemons and lots of veggies, fresh grown veggies, though. It's wonderful now. So I can eat tomatoes and peppers. It doesn't hurt me anymore. I can eat wheat. It doesn't hurt. Nothing hurts me anymore because my gut's healed. And so that's the good part about it. When you learn how to do this, you can have most anything as long as moderation, and you're fine. And I like to tell people that fiber covers a multitude of dietary sin. And so if people are eating a dessert or if they're eating a big old steak that has lots of saturated fats or toxins, there's toxins in that fatty meat of that ribeye, or a fatty hamburger, or any other kind of inflammatory food, just have a heaping teaspoon or a tablespoon of fiber. Psyllium has fiber, or fiber zone. We have a fiber zone. Mix it with 4 to 8 ounces of cold water, drink it, and boom, it binds it. Or bacon or sausage. If you eat that, have the fiber within 1 hour. It'll bind most of it, and you'll excrete it through your GI tract.
That's really cool.
Right. So we know all these little tricks that help people out.
Yeah.
So we don't want to take all their fun away and say, I can never have bacon. And I said, well, you can have it a couple of times a week's okay.
Sure.
But we don't want to have it every day without the fiber, because your fiber is your get out of jail free card. It'll help prevent colon cancer and prostate cancer, which, by the way, we have an epidemic of these cancers. And this processed food with all these nitrites and nitrates are fueling it.
Yeah. Totally good. Totally good. Well, thank you for hanging out. Thank you so much for watching, listening. Of course, thank you for subscribing. And here's a comment. I want you to answer this question here at the end. What is your favorite food to eat? You're like, well, I don't know if I can admit that now. Well, this is all good. Don't get nervous and there's not no food police coming to hunt you down. Just leave your comment there. What's your favorite food to eat? And of course, hit the notification bell. That'll keep you posted when we put up new content. Thanks again. Have a great day.